Okay, here we go, kicking it off for the volume and surface area unit. We're just going to deal with one shape at a time. Hopefully that'll make it easier on you. So let's get started with the rectangular prism. On the front of your notes, you will see that there is a formula in order to find volume of both the rectangular prism and the triangular prism. So like I said before, we're just going to focus on the rectangular prism. So down below the big box, I want you to actually write down the formula, because what we're going to do is we're going to create a diagram that explains what each letter stands for. So the V, of course, stands for volume. The big B stands for the area of the base. And in this circumstance, you can see the shaded in area of the base on the rectangular prism in your notes. How we find the area of that rectangle is by length times width. And of course, the H stands for the height of the prism. So when we actually write this out with identifying the parts, okay, the big B is the area of the base, which is just length times width. And then we end up multiplying it to the height. So some of you might have already seen it like this, which is essentially the same thing. Okay, by writing it this way, we're just trying to get you to see that the bottom of the prism is in fact a rectangle. Okay, so now let's go ahead and identify the parts. So if you look at the base, you have the length of the base as 3 by 4.2. And then the height of the prism is 5. Okay, so we're going to multiply 3 times 4.2 times 5. You should get 63. Now your units here, be very careful. Since we're dealing with volume, volume is 3-dimensional. So because of the 3-dimensional, your units are going to be cubed this time. So not squared, but cubed. Okay, let's go ahead and get some practice. So find the volume of a rectangular prism with a length of 10 feet, width of 13 feet, and the height of 21 feet. So let's get down the formula. Now let's substitute. So V equals 10 times 13 times 21. Multiply those in your calculator. You get 2,730 units are feet cubed. Okay, for the next one, a room air conditioner can cool a room with a volume of 1,600 cubic feet. Okay, notice that it says cubic. That right there tells me that this is the volume. Okay, so if a room has a height of 8 feet and a length of 16 feet, what is the maximum width of the room? So we are finding the width. Okay, so this time when we write out the formula, we are given the volume. So I'm going to put 1,600 in the V place. Okay, then it tells us that the height is 8 and the length is 16. So we have to find W. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify as far as we can with the 16 and the 8 on the right hand side. So we get 128 times W. Now we're going to divide by 128 in order to figure out what W is. If you did it correctly, you should get W equals 12.5, and that's the width. So make sure since it's only one dimension of the rectangular prism, okay, then it's going to be just feet, not squared, not cubed. Okay? Okay, so if you look at the 4 by 3 by 3 rectangular prism and the 10 by 10 by 10 cube, go ahead and try to do those two on your own. So pause the video and then press play when you're ready for your answers. Okay, so you should have gotten 36 millimeters cubed for the first one, and then 1,000 inches cubed for the actual cube. Okay, one more question on this slide. This type of question is the one where they actually give you the volume and you have to work backwards in order to find the width. Okay, so go ahead and substitute what we've got. Okay, we've got the length, we've got the height, and we've got the volume. Substitute those into the formula. I'm going to simplify the right side by taking 8.5 times 9. And then finally divide to figure out what W is. Should have gotten 30 inches, which is the width of this box.